All right, here I am. I'm in Aruba. We're in quarantine for 14 days before we go onto a ship. That's required. Masks and gloves are required when you're outside until we get released to the ship. Anyway, I have a Mavic Mini, and I wanted to show you a few things about it that I found out and I didn't know. Now, there's probably a ton of videos on how to do all this fancy stuff. I just want to go into the basics. For instance, on the app, they train you how to open it up, how to level it, how to start it and everything else, and how to take the shield off, but they make you connect to the controller in the app before you even do that, so I just wanted to show you that. Let's take a look. Now let me just start by saying that if you're going to buy the Mavic Mini, you should buy the one that comes with the full kit. It's an extra $100 instead of $499, it's $599, but it's totally worth it. With the Mavic Mini, you get the Mavic Mini itself, this little bird here, a battery, a cord, and then the controller. What you do not get is this thing. This is 2 extra batteries. It's a battery charger, and you throw 3 in there. It's all smart, intelligent, everything else. You also get a number of cords and everything else. You get this case. When I was traveling to Aruba, this was awesome. I used to have a Mavic Pro. I had a gear and Pelican cases and everything else. Everything I have and everything I need fits into here, including the extra props that they give you, which you'll need, which we'll cover soon. But I just want to show you a few things that you need to do before you even start this thing. You need to take this cover off, because when you set it down on the ground, it's going to try and move the gimbal around. I don't know if it'll damage the gimbal, but you need to practice just every single time taking that cover off. This is a really delicate unit. Now the second thing you need to do is be careful, unlike me. When you pull the cap off, these little dudes right here, the propellers, I accidentally clipped a tree. I didn't see really anything wrong with that, and when I went to fly, because there were little imperfections along the propeller edge where I clipped it, this thing was flying odd. It couldn't find, it kept telling me to recalibrate. So just don't run into things with the propellers, and if you do, I'll show you how to change them. So the way you do this is you flip out the top first, like that. Then you flip off the bottom this way. And again, you don't want to jam these propellers down into the ground like this and scrape them when you're doing stuff. And then you just set this guy down on level ground somewhere like that. Now the controller itself, you have these little sticks right here. When you first got this, I was like, where are the controller sticks? And if you look in here, you'll find them in there. You simply pull these out, screw them into the controller. Those are your sticks. I like that they have a place. My old drone had no place to put these. I had a hard time trying to figure this out. Put this on normal, don't put it on sport. To check the battery level, you press it once. I got 3 green lights, so it's fully charged. To actually start this controller, you press and then press again. It'll blink and it'll beep. Putting your phone on here, they have 2 cords. They have one for Androids. They have one for my iPhone. You simply pull this up, and they usually tuck one of the cords down under here. One of these cords, one side of the cord, that's my phone. For jacking into my phone, the other cord you put in here. If you have an Android and they're both USB type, well, you would just plug that one in here like that. Simply grab this thing, make sure you don't get the cord out of the way, slip this thing up here, you just press up, whoop, and it locks in here. Now it's nice because what happens is on the side there's volume buttons, there's a power button down here, and the way it mounts your phone in there, even with this case, it totally rocks and it totally works. Plug in your phone like this, you go ahead and you run. It found it and just actually ran it. Now this thing's sitting here right now, not on. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on again. If you press once, you get little lights that tell you how much battery there is. I got full battery. If you press and press again, you'll see the propellers start moving. You just set it back down. Now you just connect the aircraft. I have a DJI Mini 2. I picked that. It tells me unfold and all this other stuff. I just go straight to camera view, and what happens is there it is. That's what you're looking at with the thing on the tripod. right now it says it's in N mode, which you want to be, not in sport mode. It says the GPS signal is weak. So if it doesn't have a GPS signal, it's going to like get a little flaky and not know where it is. I found if you just wait a little bit, what will happen is it'll eventually find the satellites, all the different satellites and everything else, and it will come up and it'll say, okay, you're ready to take off, everything is good. I wouldn't advise when you get this doing anything other than keeping it in normal mode. That's N mode, it says up here. And you wait for that GPS signal until it comes up. And when it does, then I'll show you how to take off. Now the drone is sitting right here on level surface. You don't need to do anything with the props. Everything's on. It came along and it told me on the phone, I don't know if you can see that, probably not. It told me up here that I got a GPS signal and the lady says blah, 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 GPS. And right up here it says take off permitted. Now you don't need to worry about taking off and freaking out. Make sure it's on normal mode. There's a little button over here. We're just gonna press that button. There it is. And it comes up and says take off. Now when I press this button, it's gonna go green. This thing's just gonna fly up and hover. Let's do that and you'll see what I mean. Now the drone is just sitting here. You don't need to worry too much about it. Don't stick your hands in front of it. You'll see it moving around and everything else. I'm going to start the recorder and show you the difference between this thing and what's happening. Now I've set it to 4K video. When you first get this, you may be like, what's going on? And you press the little red button, this guy down here, and it'll simply take a picture. Now it says book, and you see the little counter. Now you'll see this thing moving all over the place here because it's really windy in Aruba. It's like 15, 20 mile an hour winds and it's moving all over. There is nothing happening with this. Now that I've started this, take the left stick, don't push up or down or left or right or anything else, and you just want to get a feel for these controls. We go left and it goes left. We go right and it goes right. And you see it's trying to fight the wind a little bit because it's pretty high winds, but then it comes back in and balances itself to where it took off here. You'll see it's pointed like this, but on here, there's nothing happening. So when you're looking at the back of this, the camera's pointed that way. Left pivots this way, right pivots this way, up goes up in the air, down goes over there. This stick forward goes forward, backward, and this goes left and right. Now just to show you, so down, brings it down, just gently, up, brings it up, back, brings it backwards, very gently, forward, brings it forward. And I suggest you play with the sticks like this, see how fast it turns around. That's because I wasn't holding the stick perfect, so what was happening was I was moving the stick, but it was a little bit down. So let's turn it facing us. And let's get it centered on the camera. See, that's the wrong way because we're backwards. Let's move it toward the camera. Okay, there we are. Let's move it backwards so I don't hurt myself at all. You'll notice on the video that I'm taking, watch this thing when I'm going left and right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You'll see nothing happening over here on the filmed video. Let's just move it up. We're gonna fly over those tennis nets. We're gonna go down there and we're gonna come back, and then I'm gonna show you how to pack this thing up so you don't damage anything. Okay, we're gonna turn the drone around. I'm facing the back. I'm going to move this lever up so I can get higher than the nets. And I'm going to gently fly down that way, not too fast. And there's right, there's left, there's right. Just going to fly over those nets. Now I can see where I'm at on here. I can see I'm over by that area down there. So when I go to turn around, I'm going to turn around this way. Make sure I don't put the stick down. And I can see the nets. I can see myself way down here. And now I'm going to fly back forward. This time I'll go fast. If you let up on the stick, it tries to hold itself. Let's come forward, back to the camera. Very, very windy here, very windy. And let's show you landing. Move back to right about there. So you can see where this lands. And what's going to happen is I'm going to push the stick straight down, and what's going to happen is the drone's going to know that it needs to land, and you'll probably hear it on this, hopefully. Straight down. Landing. There it is, landed. So now I'm simply going to quit the app, turn off the controller with a double click. It's gone. Let's go turn off the drone. Again, the same way you turned on the drone, you click and then click again. It'll go up, show you the battery, and then it'll turn off. And the lights are off, the lights are off. Now again, you want to be careful of these propellers. I've put these on the ground before and scraped them and didn't know. I had to replace the propellers, and it really was not cool. My flight really sucked. So again, what you do is you just do the reverse. You take, don't grab by the propellers, grab by the arm. You flip in the bottoms, turn it over, and you move the tops back into the drone. Now we have the drone safe and secure. Let's pack everything back up. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this gimbal shield back on here. There's two little hooky looking things on this plastic thing which go on the front of the gimbal like this, and they just hook under there. You just move it on like that and it snaps into place. Now I know the gimbal's secure. Now let's put on the strap. Now the way I put on the strap is this guy right here, this little hook right here, that fits into this little hook right here. So I keep it in this direction and I put this over these like this. Mess with the propellers a little bit. Now the propellers are secure. Then when I go to do the other side, I turn this over and I let the propellers drop like that. I put the propellers like that, and there's a little clip over here. You just clip that on. Now the propellers are secured. Reverse operation, we unplug the phone. We move that up there. Take the phone off. You just wrap this around here. This is not a port. That's the port. This is just a holder. I stick that side in there and push it down and make sure the cord is down like this. Then I just shove the top down and we're all secure there. Unless you forget, don't leave these on and put them in the bag. These, you can break these or something can happen. You definitely want to unscrew your little controller things and put them back where you got them in here. Make sure they go all the way in. You don't want to have this thing sticking out and lose these. With the kit I got, the extra $100, you get more of these little thumb things. Just put them back in and make sure they're secure. Now I can put this thing back into the case and we're all good to go. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully for somebody who just got their hands on this drone, they get that. Again, I've damaged the props and everything went wacky on it. It kept asking me to recalibrate and everything else. I'll show you how to replace the props. It's really easy, but you need to take care of this thing. It seems plasticky. It's not a little toy. Just use some care, and once you get it up in the air. Now once you get up in the air, I highly suggest you practice your turns up and down, forward, backward, and really practice in an open area like this if you want to. And just get used to it, because if you fly this thing up 200, 300, 400 feet, that doesn't sound high, and you lose sight of this thing and you lose that drone, that's going to be $499 in the drain. Don't forget to check out my free and paid courses over at Basic Filmmaker University. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.